You know what's the most important instrument? It's the audience.
All right.
That's the instrument.
Speaking as a person who is very strict on definitions.
We argue about this all the time.
Define this. Define how the audience
couldn't agree
is an
more,
instrument.
by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Define how the audience is an instrument.
So imagine a venue, a room, right, is like an inside of an acoustic guitar.
There's reverberance there, yeah.
Whatever.
It's a chamber, it's a cavity.
Right. Then the interior designers, there's like an entire industry of these professionals that study mood lighting, setting, the vibe, or the experience when you enter a room. There's a reason why churches of Catholic Gothic design feel intimidating. There's a reason why offices and hospitals have a creepy vibe, and there's a reason why like nightclubs purposefully put like cool LED and vertical gardens and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a guitar. Like you pick up a PRS, right? Look, it's blue flame maple with like these nurdled knobs, and then
which makes it play better,
and
right?
It's like, oh, it swishes so pleasantly. Like what the fuck? That does nothing, right? But it's important because we're humans, So texture, color, like why do you I don't know, prefer like let's say blondes and brunettes, like what does that matter? So everything is so interconnected that when you gather a group of people, like sometimes like people get ticked off if the table is wobbly, and then imagine they're sitting for like 2 hours listening to a band and the table is wobbly, so that particular section might affect their mood or the attitude or whatever. So that's why it's like there's a warm-up band. What is it warming up? What is the warm-up act warm up? It's the audience. And then,
audience, yeah.
And
Terrible.
And then like towards the end of the show or towards like the middle, you can actually like prime example, if Freddie Mercury, and the Wembley, the video, of them in Wembley, and him just doing a hey, oh, and just a bunch of people as one at the same time, hitting the same note, and then dropping the same note, and then watching him, and then just all playing together. It's a highly religious experience. It predates, Catholicism and Christianity and Islam and Hebrew. It predates all of that, because there was a shaman, a dude with a stick. Normally, why is it a stick? I don't know. Maybe it was a speaking stick, or it's just good like to hit over over the head and climbing on the higher rock. That's what the concept of the altar comes, of the stage comes. And holding the fire and holding the ground, essentially to speak, so I don't know, it's like bringing people together, and now this is like, this is one person is going to unite, or like one group, and especially with amplified sound, I don't know, it's literally like you're tuning the people, and you're like drawing
tuning
them in.
The people.
Yeah, like you're tuning.
Feels like that's the title of your next track, Casey. Tuning the people.
So it's like, how's everybody doing? Yeah, good. No. How's everybody? Boy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So it's like so related to that. So especially playing for strangers. So it's like it's cold reading and hot reading. You go to a psychic. They rip you off. Sometimes they do cold reading. I see a male figure. I see a letter K or D. Someone you
letter
looked up
E
to.
Usually.
Exactly. And let's try to guess.
RSTLNE.
But like hot reading, they already know something about you. So a hot reading would be like the audience, like they know the band, they heard the songs, they bought the tickets ahead of time, and doing like cold shows. And cold shows is essentially, hey everybody, this is a happy hour at such and such bar. My name is so and so, and I'm gonna play for the next 3 hours here.
Yep.
No one. Yep. And then there's a way, there's a method, there's a technique, and there's a magic. 1.5 hours in. Oh my God, you're like the best we've ever seen, What's your, are you on, and then if you can like convert them to your religion, and by religion, I mean the belief that you are actually a good musician. That's a win, and that's a validation. So after I've done that, to 2 or 3 people, it's like, what if I could do that to 2 or 3 people on YouTube? So I just like posted all of that,
And would you do it if you couldn't get that audience response?
You just you adapt, overcome, improvise.
No, he's asking if you couldn't
get
that audience response, would you still do it anyway?
Oh, I don't know. Because
right. That's a fair answer.
It worked every time.
It's kind of a hard question that all musicians have to face, I feel, at some point, at creators, artists, is that on one hand, you'll have artists who say, I make it because I have to. because I'll feel unfulfilled. I'll be depressed. I'll have this thing inside me that
it's an emotional outlet
for which there won't be an outlet if they don't express it. The other people who are just kind of realizing, man, if I couldn't show this to anyone, art's kind of like a tree that fell in the woods and there was no one there to hear it. Did it really fall?
Right.
You know? And that's kind of my perception of, and Mike and I argue about this all the time, is that I don't think art is a thing. I think it's an experience, because if there's no one to perceive it, then it doesn't have any effect, right? Okay. There's no experience there.
Really quick before we get too deep into that.
That's a whole can of worms for sure that we shouldn't.
I don't mind going there. I just really want to quickly cap off what you said about the audience being an instrument and then tuning the audience.
That's so cool. I love that idea too.
I love the concept.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
I would probably only fight you on the, what's the word? It starts with an S. It has to do with descriptions and meanings of definitions.
Semiotics?
No, fuck it. I forget the word.
Semiotics.
I'd fight you on the definition maybe of what an instrument is, but otherwise the concept is beautiful. Love it. Absolutely.
It's so weird because it's like, there are so many, and again,
semantics.
This is something,
that's the word. Semantics.
Well,
semantics, yeah.
Okay, so the church organ is an instrument, right?
Yeah.
And how much of that aesthetic, like how much of the aesthetic and the context of the experience for the audience is provided when they show up and they see this enormous fucking monstrosity, and it's in a cathedral,
and it smells like rotting wood,
which is amazing. There's all this context that totally shapes the perception of the audience, and without those facets of that experience, would they have the same experience? Definitely not. And that I feel, especially when it's part of the set design or the artist's intention to, how they want to present themselves as a performer. Mm-hmm. If so much of it has to do with your stage show and the props that you're using and the setting in which it's occurring, then it's almost as though that's definitely part of the artistic performance itself.
Again, that's undeniable.
So a church organ is an instrument.
Yes.
And the church choir, comprised of people that sing bass and tenor and alto, whatever, soprano, is also an instrument.
I'd call it an ensemble comprised of instruments, but
right.
Sure.
But so it's like kind of like, so you can like arrange, this, you sing that, and you sing these, so kind of like people. So it's not necessarily like music, but I don't know who said that, but like the highest form of music is just the sounds of nature, because it's like purely chaotic.
Yeah, he's fucking wrong, but okay. Continue. Continue.
Just like you enjoyed the chromatic conversation that perhaps neither of us have the knowledge of jazz theory to comprehend exactly which direction they were thinking but you were able to enjoy and appreciate that.
Yes.
In the context, this is a musical performance. What if just like the meme of like, brain shining and then it's the universe and it's like you just fucking explode. What if the highest one is like birds and river sound and like the trees and then even fucking like a semi. What if all of that? What if you had even like a wider range of acoustic perception ability? What if all of that is also music and you could like hear patterns and then what if you could even see that is like like that and then it's like like reverberates differently through because you can't see but the air is moving.
That's called synesthesia, I think, right? Where you can see colors.
That's not what he's saying.
It's like you pour sand on the thin sheet that's lit up from up below and then it shapes itself differently.
Yeah, semantics. That shit is sick, dude.
Right. So
you ever seen that video?
Not sure. But yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what if you could like perceive even like
the music and all of the sounds? Yeah.
All of sound. Yeah. And then like really have like a 4-dimensional comprehension. So people in the room after you tune an audience because. Okay, so you go to Assembly Food Hall, and there's no band playing. So everyone's in their own. So they're their own little micro thing, a table. Somebody's replying to an email, somebody's talking.
And they're thinking about eating, they're thinking about drinking.
But then you place someone performing. That's not annoying. That's not like, you're all going to hell kind of thing. No, it's like a song. And then the song they heard maybe, so it connects with nostalgia, it connects with memory, it connects with an origin, it connects where they come from. Maybe they heard that song when the first time they did something, and then all of a sudden, maybe even partially, the attention turns, and then the sound they produce, I don't know, it's like claps, and then hell yeah, so all of that, that's the river, that's the trees, and that's the birds.
Yeah.
And what if you could cause the wind? And you, what if you do that, and then you cause the thunder, and then you do that, you cause a volcano. So you can do that with people.
Oh,
I love the concept.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Again, I love the concept. Again, I would disagree with the semantics of the words that you're choosing. But, I love the concept.
It's metaphor though. So the
I know
semantics
I know it's fucking metaphor.
I know you know it's metaphor. It's just the semantics really aren't applicable at that point. I think because it's
extreme. That's one of the big things I want to suss out.
I mean, but I mean, the thunder in a mix is the bass and the kick drum, right?
Right. But
sorry, go ahead.
It's like, okay, so you pick a string with a pick, and then the string moves, and then the magnetic pickup, and then the cable, and then the speaker, and then the SM57 sends it to the front of the house, and the front of the house pumps it out. What if all of that is also just like a piano key? You hit the piano key, and then there's a hammer, and the hammer, there's a latch that holds the string mute, and then it opens up, and the hammer, boom, and then it lets it ring. So what if the mechanism is actually to move the people? Because isn't the art's purpose, like you said? Yeah, it's to move the people. So
if we want to take it as literal as possible, the vibrations that you make literally move the eardrum. If you want to take it as literal as possible.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to.
You definitely weren't done. You definitely weren't finished. I feel like he was going elsewhere with it.
No. So, I'm just adding to it,
So you are the latch and the hammer and the key and the guitar pick and the magnetic pickup to move the strings, which would be hearts of the people, and then you move them. And then, like just like a string, it oscillates in ellipsis.
Why did you pick strings? Why did you pick strings?
Because I play them. So
okay.
That's the closest one I can.
So I find it. Hold on, really quick.
Snake charming. Just saying that. I just wanted those two words.
Okay, some of that.
Snake charming.
They beat them with the thing, with the flute, because they can't hear it, and then they follow it because they don't want to get hit. So that's
see, I didn't actually know the mechanisms of how that actually.
I didn't even know
that's how they train, because they hit them over the head, and then they open the thing and they see the flute. So they're like,
I didn't know
dodging
that.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Makes me hate
I was thinking
now.
more of string theory. Actually, are you familiar with string theory?
Oh God.
I'm not going to throw it out there. I haven't read a shitload of it myself.
I don't think any of us have a degree here.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Anything
I agree. No
there
degrees.
are no physicists in the room.
Oh, I can tell you about G-string theory.
There it is.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. This is a part of a larger podcast we had with Dovydas and Casey Sable, my new co-host. You can click on the box in the upper left-hand corner or click the link in the description to find that podcast. Catch you guys there.